male my size would have a gut that would be, I don't know, I think 21 feet long or something like that. Many times we were doing educational programs for teachers, and the math skills and the science things activities we were just showing you, we would teach the teachers to do this in these programs. And you can see on the right some of the comments of the teachers about these programs. This got written up in the Albuquerque Tribune when we did a whole full day of this, and you can see we had a kind of a rug on the floor of the continents, and the activity was in teams they would have to figure out where to put these toys. So the peanuts would come from the Western Hemisphere, and the squashes and all that would be Eastern Hemisphere. So that was a really fun hands-on activity. We also use sugar packets to practice and teach other principles, and just hope that the teachers would be able to adapt and be more hands-on and use food in their classroom teaching. And here's an example of an all-day program that we conducted with teachers. This is a flyer that we used to show the various programs that are popular programs. Planet Potato, of course, was one of the most popular, and then you have chocolate, chilies, corn, and more. Another one of our popular programs we took all over the place. So you want to talk about these people?
Yeah, these people found us online, and they were book publishers, and they asked us if we would be interested in doing a book about the museums of France.
Yeah.
They had just been to a sort of obscure food museum in France, and so that set us off on a wonderful journey.
Yeah, look at that. We went all around France. Each one of those blue dots is a place we stopped. It would be a food museum or a heritage site. Let's hear Meredith talk about this.
Hey, published in 2005 was Gastronomie, the food museums and heritage sites of France. We were fortunate enough to be invited to do a 6.5-week tour of France, and we loved every minute of it. We ate, we slept, we whatever. We were hosted by French Tourism, the publisher Yves Bellieu, and Carol Kitchell.
We wanted to acknowledge the idea for this book was born when Yves Bellieu and Carol Kitchell of Bunker Hill Publishing zipped through the Musée du Jambon in some unpronounceable name in France, taken with the idea that if a ham museum exists, then food museums must abound in France. They found the food museum on the internet. I've been doing that for several years, and asked us to write about the food museums of France. So we want to thank them for all that. And these are the other credits. So we worked in 2004. We spent a lot of time researching all of this, contacting various tourist authorities, and we started in Paris, rented a car, and went down the center east of the country, and then over to the southeast, and then you can see it went around, and then we came back up the center west. And this book is my photos of the places we went. These are eco museums. These are actual museums. There's a foie gras museum.
And I wrote the whole book and edited it, although Ib and Carol edited it at the end.
This was a museum about prunes.
We had a wonderful time.
And look at this. There's the Jambon Museum. And what happened was, and look at this, Sally, who was it? Did all the maps. Sorry, I don't remember her name. We'll get it later. But heavily illustrated, and we had a great time. And what happened was we were so well fed that sometimes we would pull into a first-class hotel, and they'd be waiting. The chef would be waiting for us. And
I think it only happened once, and it was me, and I couldn't go downstairs and eat. So you went downstairs and ate something.
I think that's right.
But I had been fed and fed and fed.
Yeah.
And we were driving.
Yeah, so...
Well, I was doing all the driving. Tom was doing all the navigating. We did not have Google Maps. We did not have any of that stuff.
No, it was
so we would come to a rond-point, as they call them, And we would go around and around and around and around until
Right.
Tom figured out which way to go.
Yeah, and so I keep saying, go around again, go around again. So we had this huge map book. I really wished that I'd had this one, which was much more compact, but I didn't know about this one, or this was published later. But again, it was all old-fashioned navigation with actual maps. So that's a little bit about this.
It's still available. You can buy it. There's nothing else like it.
And we got really good credits from the... Oh, one other thing I wanted to say. So we got to one time in a little town that had a museum about, they had collected all these old kitchen utensils. It seemed like the whole town was out waiting for us as we got there. And we went in. They were very proud to show us all around. It's in the book. And what happened was this one person said, you know, French people would never do this book, go around France writing about our food museums and heritage sites. It takes an American to do that. It takes Americans to do that.
And so we did. And we did.
So, yeah, we've already shown you some of this, so we're just going to flip through some of the sections. But here's the Parmentier, the sections about the potato that were in there. And we came across that they were making wine out of chili peppers down in the south. This guy made a special bouillabaisse for us, the chef, and we stayed with these people on a goat farm. And so, we became knights of some kind of fraternity, cognac, yeah.
Something.
Got the medals and the certificate. There's the subject index and all that. So, also from the internet, we were found by a community in Italy, Cetica. You can see how remote it is, up in the mountains in the eastern part of Tuscany. And they wanted us to come help celebrate their heritage red potato. And you can see potatoes grow in the mountainous areas, and this was very much a mountainous area. And so we did. And they had just recently, after several years of study in university, making sure that this was a unique heritage variety, they got certified on that. And they brought us over to celebrate this designation. We did a slideshow presentation about the history of the potato and had great meals. They can see we were with the chefs. I think it was rabbit and some sort of special sausage, and there's the potatoes. I learned later that the Cetica potatoes were an ingredient in a beer, and so that's something to look forward to. This is the guy who's head of the consortium that is promoting all this, and he showed us the potatoes and gave us a bag to take back.